Hello, everyone. Welcome to another live in our open forum. We are here with Lizzie, Christina, and Lydia joining us for a very juicy topic. I think it's one of our favorite topics in the community, which is twin flame movies. So we are going to be sharing about like our favorite ones and like why do we consider them our like most liked twin flame movies and like the inspiration that we get from them. And of course, if you're watching, you can share in your comments also. Share with us which are the movies that you like the most, which one you feel are like the twin flame movie, maybe the one that you feel identifies your union, why not? And for those watching us from YouTube, you can also, of course, subscribe to the channel and activate that little bell so that you don't miss any of our juicy content on twin flames. So with that being said, I would like to open the floor for everyone to share, like how, guys, we've been discussing this topic like forever. So I'm like eager to know which are your favorite ones.
First of all, congratulations, Paco and Deb, for your engagement.
Thank you.
That's so
And
sweet. Thank you.
Thank you.
yeah, and to
Happy.
Christina and Daniel. Daniel is not next to you, but congratulations as well.
Yeah, that's true. They got engaged last month, and so everyone was really, really happy to see the couples coming together closer.
Yeah, like we see in the movies we will speak today,
Yeah, we are all
it
about
can
movies.
happen. Like in Daniel and Christina are engaged, and we are engaged, and like in these movies, and we will speak about how you can make this true in your life too.
Yeah, we are all kind of like craving that romance, that Prince Charming that comes, at least like for us girls, and have that is like very romantic moment where you finally meet your man and you can live happily ever after. And that's the cool thing. Like movies represent that desire for us to be able to enjoy that kind of relationship, and in spite of the challenges, of course, like movies also represent this. Now, for every couple coming together, I'm a passionate about the Disney movies, but I'm gonna get into that as we progress in the conversation. But like every couple portrait there had also to move through their challenges to be together, like Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin and Jasmine, Snow White and Prince Charming, and pretty much every couple in every twin flame movie. The Notebook is another one that everyone has like, it's the #1 twin flame movie. And they too had to overcome their obstacles and the challenges and the blocks to being together and enjoying that life. And I think that's one of my favorite parts, at least from the Notebook. They made it very clear, like it's not gonna, we all have that snippet that it's not gonna be easy, but I choose to do this every day. And that's kind of like what we all desire, that partner that is gonna like be there with us no matter what.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like to invite you guys to share what are your insights, or if you've seen this movie or maybe another one that's spoken to you about like the twin flame journey and that beautiful romance between two people.
So I actually have the Twin Flames Universe blog pulled up here that has some great movie suggestions, and I thought we could all have a look at them and talk about them, and then there'll be some time afterwards maybe to share a little bit more about other movies and what we were feeling. Does that sound okay with you?
Of course, go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna share. So this is the Twin Flames Universe blog. And everybody knows Cinderella, so I picked out a clip we can watch about 5 seconds.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you all right, miss? What did he call you?
Never mind what they call me.
I'm sorry.
It's not your doing.
So, yeah, that's like the classic, Prince Charming coming and meeting the woman. But I really like Cinderella a lot because, especially the cartoon version, actually, where Cinderella's like scrubbing the floor in her family's home and like singing a song, and like all these bubbles are popping, and no matter that she had like a really tough situation, she was grateful and did her best. And even, when her stepsister and stepmother like ripped off her dress that she made, she just felt her feelings and like cried. And then there's fairy godmother. What do you guys think about Cinderella?
Yeah, I love that. And I love because the moment that you mention her, one of the phrases, especially it's very like out there in the remake they made a couple of years ago. It's Cinderella's motto is be kind and have courage. And yeah, I find it, I love this example that you brought because Cinderella is also put through like a lot of situations where she needs to be humble, like a lot of challenges with the family of her stepmom, and she still didn't cave. And it seems like everything was stuck against her and she still didn't give in. So it's like talking about persistence. Cinderella is like, go get her. Yeah. So yeah, I just,
Should we see the
that's
next
like
one?
my insight. I don't want to like steal the thunder so that everyone else can share. But yeah, I loved it. It's especially the remake was very well portrayed, like the whole situation that she actually had to move through in order to be with her twin flame.
One of the cool things is when I watch these videos, these movies, sorry, now with you and with the teachings of Union, it is so insightful. It's so juicy. I'm sitting there. I'm even crying. I never cried in these Disney movies, but it's so nice having these insights and watching it with this feeling inside of you where you feel closer and closer with your twin flame every time you heal another layer, maybe with the mirror exercise, and then watching the wonderful movies because you feel this can be true. That is something I really love also about Cinderella.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. It's very cool because I've watched most of these movies when I was a little girl and I was missing a lot of the meaning.
Yeah.
It was just like a romantic story. And of course I was dreaming like meeting my Prince Charming and someday maybe getting married, which is a step closer now. But when I was a little girl, I was missing like that other part of the journey, which is, okay, the challenge is to overcome to actually reap that reward of being with your one true love forever. And it does, like, I cannot get enough. I watched at least Aladdin and especially Beauty and the Beast thousands of times, I think, at this point. And Beauty and the Beast, every time I watch it, it always gives me something new to munch on. And it's like, oh, look, they chose love over separation and how that they came to be together, and I'm like crying again. Because it's also like a very beautiful story. But coming back to Cinderella, it's very inspiring too. Like, for me, that's kind of like the main thing that I take from that particular one is that she just kept going. And I find it very interesting because she finally gets to be with her twin flame when she doesn't give power to what other people are saying about her. And she just relies on what she knows about herself. Even though like stepmom and stepsisters were like really trying hard, not being nice to her at all. And she was like, of course, it brought some pain and hurt, and it's not like she was having fun in that situation, but she still rose above it. And she kept taking the steps. And it's not like they made it any easier for her to meet the prince, like Lizzie was sharing. Like they were ripping her dress and they were kind of like trying to shatter her dreams. And she just said, no, I know that the man for me is out there. And she finally met him. And the rest we know. They live happily ever after. So what?
All right,
yeah,
shall we look at the next one?
of course.
Alrighty. So we've got the Lion King, and just to kind of like read this a little bit. After his father's murder, Simba leaves the kingdom as he feels responsible. He tries to numb himself out from guilt and shame he feels, believing to be his father's murderer. However, nothing helps him forget who he truly is and his true place in the kingdom. As the years pass, Simba believes his past is far behind him, but that is only an illusion. As the kingdom suffers under the rule of his despotic Uncle Scar, Nala, Simba's old childhood friend, is the one who supports him. And so she's basically like encouraging him to claim his purpose. And we have to watch a little clip from this trailer. This is just so good. Oh, look, it's 2 minutes and 22 seconds long. I'm going to watch the whole thing.
Talking about embracing your purpose.
Yeah. Okay. So, it's really, you know, if you know the movie The Lion King, it's really like about letting go of guilt and blame and the past. Like Simba has to really let go of the past and embrace his future, Hakuna Matata. And it it's something, you know, that we can learn from. And I know like you were talking about, Deb, like you're watching it as a kid, it's just like, ah, this is great, but applying it to your twin flame journey today is a whole new ball game. And these movies like kind of come alive and they're magical in that sense.
I feel Christina have something to say, or was I mistaken?
Well, I love The Lion King. It's a great movie. Yeah, it's one of my favorite Disney movies, and I feel that it's you know, it's really just like a beautiful story like of claiming your true self. And that's really important on the twin flame journey. You have to identify and claim your true self in order to be able to identify your true twin flame. So, you know, I'd like to, if you're watching along with us, feel free to comment here in the comments. We'll be sure to answer your comment. Thank you to all those who are watching, and yeah, feel free to pipe in.
So we have another movie, another Disney movie we're going to look at. It is something Deb mentioned. It's Beauty and the Beast, all about unconditional love. All right. So, yeah. Has anybody watched the show? What's it called? Once Upon a Time. It's a show that was like in the late, like the 2010s.
Yeah, a couple of years ago when he was first there, I was like watching.
I like it's so like clear that Belle's character like has this unconditional love for like where her twin flame is at. We can consider the beast her twin flame, right? Like, you know, he's unrefined, he's mean, he's grumpy. She has boundaries. She doesn't put up with that, but she continues to love him and respect herself and really sees the good in him. And I think a lot of times, like when our twin flame is doing something and it triggers us, and we're like looking at them like they're some sort of beast or gremlin or something, that you know they're a person, and they're not just a person, they're your person and they're your mirror. And it's important to remember that like they might see you that way, like you might be their beast. And because of twin flame mirroring, you can do the mirror exercise and come to a place of peace and unconditional love within yourself. And truly, like miracles are for you in your union. If you're experiencing a Beauty and the Beast type scenario, do the mirror exercise and continue to love yourself, and that loves your twin flame too. And when you love your twin flame, you're loving you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I must say that Beauty and the Beast for me is kind of like the most representative of my union. And like, because of course, like Beast feels so unworthy of being loved just for this one choice that he made. And we have that a lot in our union, like getting carried away by what appearance is and what the outside looks like, which is exactly what he did. So after he's invited into this healing space, because Belle's is holding that space for him, like they can meet in that middle ground and finally kind of like see, okay, wait, she's actually loving me. And she's like, he's not that bad. He looks a little wonky, but it's not really like a bad person. And that's like, oh, and I'm gonna stop there because I can kind of like give a whole lecture of Beauty and the Beast, but I would like to hear, like, I don't know, Lydia, have you watched it? I guess so. You're kind of like,
Yeah, it's like my favorite. It represents my union too, because I had to see through some darkness in my twin flame, but like all along, unconditional love was always there. So then the mask and everything starts to come off when you present your love, your unconditional love, your divine love to them. So it's definitely my favorite movie, especially like everything about it, from like all the little teapot support and all the flame and everything that's involved in there, pushing together and you reuniting, and as they're both working through their challenges with each other. And I love the part where he was withholding her. He was definitely controlling the whole thing, like thinking he can just like lock her in the castle and she'll just remain there forever, when she wanted to like help her father. And there came a time where he surrendered and he's like, Belle, are you happy here? Are you sure? And like, and then there's this part where they're like dancing together. Sometimes, like, if I want to just like feel my feelings, I always play this little clip on YouTube where they're both dancing together to the famous song. And I always like cry because they're just like, it's like a dance with God. They're both like surrendered at that point and just like enjoying each other and looking into each other's eyes and just like feeling their union. And it's like falling in love. And then from that place, everything just like comes together, you know? So I just love, one of my favorite movies. I love it.
I once had a nice experience with this movie. I had a session with my coach Christina, and she helped me through what was in front of me, mostly claiming my true self before we revealed each other as twin flames. And she helped me move through it. And afterwards, it was so nice. I had this insight, and I was seeing the Beauty and the Beast dancing with each other. As the oneness, I felt the oneness with my twin flame, and there I saw the movie when the Beast and
told you it's deeply ingrained in our union.
Exactly. This is how you are one with your twin flame, even you are not yet in the physical together. I realized there, and when you then spoke about how much you love this movie.
Yeah, I think it was the one that really struck me when I was a little girl. My mom was taking us mostly every year to the cinema to watch each Disney movie that was being released. But for some reason, I never knew why, as a child, Beauty and the Beast was always like right to like shut through the heart, and it stood there like forever. So,
All right, shall we look
I'm
at the
looking
next
forward
one?
to the next one that you're gonna show.
Yeah, it's also juicy. All right, so we've got Romeo and Juliet, and Romeo and Juliet. Hopefully everybody knows this story, but star-crossed lovers whose families hate each other, but they find love anyway. And so we have a lot of people that are maybe coming from a different culture. Maybe there's like some people who are
greater power than we can contradict has thwarted all our plans.
Fortune, send him back to me.
Okay. Now we have to respect copyright. We can only show 5 seconds at a time, but it's if you know the Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet's families are clashing. So this actually talks to those of you who are in situations where maybe you come from a different background as your twin flame, maybe different religions that seem to be, conflicting on the outside. Yeah. Or maybe your family has like betrothed you to someone of like you're in a culture where there's arranged marriage, but that's not your twin flame. There is, where there's a will, there's a way. Now the thing that I do want to point out about Romeo and Juliet is, at the end they pass away, and that is not the end of your story. That's if we were to rewrite the play, probably based on the teachings of union, would definitely have a different ending. But they persevered and they let their love triumph, and I think that's a really positive message for everybody.
I wanted to add to that what I've noticed, because I have this too, like where my family didn't really approve of my twin flame, and I feel like all the love and the approval and the unconditional love that I always desired is actually in this community. So I find that very helpful, especially if you're moving through challenges where your family doesn't support your union. We support your union. Like in this community, like I've never been unconditionally loved by Jeff and Julia, like ever, especially when I thought for many, many years, 7 years prior to finding the work, where I thought all of these challenges are impossible for us to be together, but the desire is just always there. So I would always keep it to myself. And every time I would see him, it would be like, oh, he's so perfect for me. Like we're so in love, but this thing, you know? And when I came to the community, it was almost like, what thing? That thing? That thing doesn't matter, you know? So I finally found my home where I feel like I'm free to explore. I'm free to like love myself and you know, and work through my challenges and you know, feel supported when I'm moving through darkness. And this community has become that home, that family that you always crave to support you in this manifestation of this desire. Yeah. So I say that.
Good. So the next clip that we have, it's about two people who are actually married to other people, and they have a romance. And the challenges that come with being in love with someone while you're married are brought up in this film. You may not guess it, but it's Brokeback Mountain.
Do you know somebody named Jack?
We was fishing buddies.
There are truths we can't deny. Yeah, so it's challenging if you or your twin flame are married or with another, but love always prevails. I think that's the really strong message about that movie.
I love
Has
this
everybody,
movie.
have you
I
seen
watched
it?
it. I've
I
seen it.
personally haven't watched it yet, so
Yeah, I love the message because the love between these two men is just so. It feels so eternal when you watch this movie, but they kind of have obstacles, and at this time it was difficult for them, and they were married with women both, and there was this love there. This love was bigger than anything else. Even the outside said always, no, this is not possible, and no, no, no. This love they felt in their heart was bigger than all of that. And they followed this love in their heart. They followed their way to their twin flame. And this message is very beautiful. Even the movie itself ends not
in the best way.
Yeah, but the love was always, even the love was always there. Always. The love of your twin flame is always there.
Yeah, I feel like it may speak a lot, even though I haven't watched it, but for what I'm picking up from what you share and the clip too, there's a lot of people have experienced being married to someone who they thought was a good match, but years on the relationship, you realize that this person is not exactly what you were looking for. It doesn't fulfill you in every aspect as you thought that if they may or they would have. And it's okay to honor that that's how you feel about it. And it's okay to get clear, like, is this just me having an upset with this person? Because we've seen this also in the community. I remember a couple of years ago having a client who once came to a discussion group we were having in one of the other open forums in Spanish. And she was like, I am in the process of like getting a divorce from this person. And it turns out that she worked through her upsets and realized that she has been married to her twin flame, but because they were lacking the tools to work through their upsets and blocks, they couldn't like put that last piece together and actually acknowledge that, oh, we were just having an upset. We are actually married to, like we've been married to each other for quite some time now. Oh, okay, we can kind of like relax that. We know now how we can move forward with this. And without a need of like actually separating or getting a divorce. But it's also like the other way around. How many people, like I've been in relationships that were not really what I was looking for. I was just exploring them. but some of us go to the extent of maybe marrying this person, and then your twin flame pops in your reality and like, okay, and now what? And that's absolutely safe to move through that process and get clear, like, what is it that you really desire? How do you want to move through this? So yeah, it's very, I feel like it can be a really helpful movie for those moving through this situation.
Trust
like
the feeling in your heart.
Yeah.
Trust the love in your heart.
Yeah, like Lizzie was saying, where there's a will, there's a way. It's just some details that you need to work through, but if the desire is there, nobody can like deny it.
It's so beautiful when you have something that truly can help you. Even you may find yourself in a not so easy situation with the love you have, maybe for a same-sex person where you believe it's your twin flame, or where you feel it's your twin flame, and it's in the life situations you are, it's kind of, oh my God, what's happening here? But I love this person so much. And it's safe to feel all the feelings that come up in such a situation, and just allow yourself to move through it. There is a solution. There is always a solution. It doesn't matter if you were married to a woman and now you love a man. It's okay, and you can have support here. You can reach out to us. We are Ascension coaches. We can help you here, because there is always a solution.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
All right, let's go to our next movie. It's Aladdin.
Don't you dare close your eyes. Hold your breath.
All right. So, with Aladdin, gosh, there's so much there. I love that movie for many reasons. It's a rags to riches. Yeah, it's like life purpose, twin flame. For me, I think the biggest message that comes out from Aladdin is that Jasmine likes him for who he is. Like, she doesn't need him to be rich or perfect according to the world. Like, I hope this is not spoiler if anybody didn't watch Aladdin.
I think we should have given spoiler
Yeah, I
alert at
think
the
we should,
beginning of
yeah.
the live.
It's just these movies are just so classic, and most people have watched them. That even if we give a spoiler, it's still good to watch again. But I just think, like, a lot of people on the twin flame journey, you think you need to be a certain way before you can be loved, right? Perfectly healed, perfectly mastered at this or that, or you can be loved right now, and you start with yourself. But I really love that movie. Does anyone else want to comment on?
Well, that's another classic of mine. It's always in a upheaval mode. It's either Beauty and the Beast or Aladdin, or probably one of the two Frozen movies too. But it's that didn't touch upon. It's not mentioned in the blog, but the story between Anna and Kristoff is also very cool. But yeah, well, I love Disney movies. Sorry, I'm guilty as charged. But yeah, I love that movie, Aladdin, and like how Jasmine and Aladdin work through those, like feeling free in her case, because she felt like locked in the palace life, and he having the same feeling by being on the opposite like range, like being poor, and like, yeah, I don't really have many options. I don't really get to do what I would like to do. It's kind of like, this is as far as I can go. And also I love it because it also talks about like how Lizzie was pointing, like feeling worthy. Some like one of the clearest things that Aladdin has to work through is realizing that he was always worthy. So yeah, I just love Aladdin.
And there are a lot of cool things, and life with your twin flame is magical, and where you can achieve everything with your twin flame and following this love.
Yeah, that's
very
true.
cool.
I kind of feel like that too, when sometimes in our relationship, you're kind of like my Aladdin. You're kind of like showing me something new that I was not really venturing into, and it's like, oh,
yeah,
it feels very loving.
That's cool.
I think also the genie in the movie plays a huge role. I think, who was it in the Disney movie? It was
the original one from Disney, Robbie Williams.
Yeah, the person, the voice was like, oh, is it Robin Williams? Robin Williams. Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that was really good. You know, I just have that song in my head now. You never have a friend like me, and it was just
Yeah.
it was like taking a shortcut, right? Like Aladdin's like, I want to be rich, rub the lamp, and then ta-da! And I think a lot of people want to like jump over the inner work and jump right into union and take all these shortcuts, quick fixes, and then they come here and they realize, oh my gosh, Twin Flame Ascension School is 600 hours long. You know, they get like, whoa, you know, because
Yeah, but you can watch it at
it's
your own pace.
yeah, you watch it at your own pace. And they're like, well, when am I going to get into union? Like, how long did it take you? And, you know, I'm like, okay, I know what that question's about. It's like, you don't want a quick fix. I think for me in my own union, like I wanted to be with Josh so much that I kind of skipped over doing some of the inner work and got together. And then it didn't have a solid foundation that was built. And so it's really important to just relax, take your time, do the inner work, watch all the classes. I've now on my second round of watching, third round. I've watched them all twice. And so, you know, it goes by a lot faster than you would think, a lot faster, but you do want to build that solid foundation and just surrender to your vibrational set point where you're at right now. And don't try to like do what Aladdin did and skip over building it naturally. Just, you know, really choose to ground and build it with God. And that's the fastest way. It's actually slower to skip ahead because you know, crumble.
You have to kind of like start over when everything falls to crumble. I love it because the genie is the first one that tell her the truth. Just like, because you're not going to be able to sustain this. Once you're done with your third wish, this is gone. So he was like a very cool friend.
All right, shall we go to the next one? It is not a Disney movie. These two individuals in the movie are complementary. Like the main thing that you see in this movie is like complementary energies working together towards the same goal and just amazing. So maybe you don't know what it is, but you soon will. It is, oh, my computer back on, The Matrix, Neo and Trinity. Yeah, I like that. It totally equal. This kind of speaks to like, you know, twin flames. Sometimes they're like, well, I'm the awakened twin flame and my counterpart is the unawakened twin flame. But that's not true. You're both equally awakened, and you might have different like talents and skills, spiritually speaking, even different energies, like you know, working on this part of the puzzle, and your twin flame is working on that part of the puzzle, but they're equally balanced in what they represent.
Yeah, I love that. In that movie, like you know, Trinity had been like I guess she was in the real world and he was in the Matrix, right? But she had been there longer and she was holding space, you know, and it seems like he's discovering all this stuff, but then he caught right up to her, you know, in terms of like his awareness because she had been holding space the whole time and he had been moving through his own awakening journey like wherever, you know, in his path, right? And they met at the perfect time. And so it's an illusion that like, you know, there's an awakened twin flame and an unawakened twin flame because you know, you're working together. Your twin flame is manifesting their own experiences to come to like their own lessons, the same core choices being made in their own life, even if it looks totally different and like totally separate, it's not. You're doing the same thing at once. And like yeah, it looked like, you know, it looked like she awakened him and woke him up, but that's not really what happened. They came to a point together where they couldn't move further on their own and they had to work together. And so that's when they, you know, they manifested meeting, right?
I wanted to save time for this last one that what Deb and Paco said in the beginning was like one of the most talked about twin flame movies. And it's The Notebook.
Boy, but he is not for you.
I don't see how it's gonna work.
You are not to see him anymore, and that's final.
From the best-selling.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I have another clip because, you know, this is like when people talk about this. This clip here is one of the most watched clips by Twin Flames.
Mm-hmm.
It's the fight scene.
So what?
Exactly.
So it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna be really hard. And we're gonna have to work at this every day, but I wanna do that because I want you. I want all of you, forever, you and me, every day. Will you do something for me?
All
Mm.
right. Wish you could watch more of it.
I know. We
Yeah,
should
The
watch.
Notebook.
We should make a watch party for this one.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like he's communicating exactly what everyone truly desires at the core. Like I knew that was my desire. I just want someone that I can grow up with and like face the challenges together. Nobody wants to move through a challenge alone, especially when you're in a relationship. That feels like not really nice. So, but he's kind of like, and how he helps her make decisions because she's so like, I want to please everyone, and kind of like forgetting herself, which is something that very common in relationships in general. Like I've seen of doing that. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this because it looks good or in a certain way, and then at the end of the day, it was like, yeah, I don't think I made the right decision though. And he's like, and the other, I think that the last clip that you showed us, Lizzie, it's perfect because everybody, like you were saying, everyone wants kind of like, and I'm guilty as charged as well sometimes, kind of like have the easy route. And the cool stuff in life comes after breaking a sweat for them. So I find it very cool what he says to her. And it's like, yeah, it's not going to be easy, but I'm still going to choose to do it because I want to be with you. And that challenge is worth it for me. And your twin flame will always feel that way, that the challenge is worth, if that means that on the other side you get to be together and even grow closer. And I feel like all of us have been here for quite some time and we've all have like our successes in our twin flame union. We can all say that after the challenge is when the thing got really good.
I also love that part where he's like really finally like claiming her, you know, she just can't, she's very emotional and he's like, you know, all in with her. And she's like, okay, you know, I just feel like it's very important too in your twin flame union that no matter what your twin flame is presenting to you, it's very safe to speak the truth and claim it and claim that, you know, but instead of giving power to the illusion and the lie and the fear and the excuses, you just say, no, like, you know, we can make this work. This is for us. Like we're one and I love you. And it's very safe to do that. And I feel like, you know, I'm in my union, like there have been many times where, let's say my twin flame has presented at times, you know, fear-based things where like it ignited the fear within me. And I'm just like, oh, okay, you know, now I wish like I was, you know, him and I just fully claimed it. So it's very, very important in your union to do that. And you know, also in this movie, there's the part where she ends up, you know, listening to her family and marrying the soulmate who's like rich and handsome and all that amazing things like on the outside. But there was like no love there. You know, she was always craving to be with her one true love and desiring that. And, you know, and he was holding space with her, trying to fill space with someone else. So another twin flame synchronicity where, you know, if you're choosing love outside of yourself, your twin flame does the same thing. So it's very important that, you know, you turn that into yourself and give yourself the love that you desire. And your twin flame does the same. And there goes the attraction, and you just attract each other in your lives. And then you can claim them and then just be together forever. So I love this movie. I can never get sick of it. I can watch it forever. You know, it's like new every single time.
Yeah, I have to be honest, I haven't watched it with him yet. So, but I will have to give it a rest and see when there's an opening to watch it.
I watched it already.
Yeah, but we didn't watch
We
it
have
together.
to watch it
We
together.
have
Yeah.
to watch it together.
Yeah.
It's maybe it has a different meaning now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I agree with what Lydia was sharing. It's a perfect showcase also, like how the dynamic between twin flames work. Like whatever you're choosing, they are choosing with you.
This movie actually has a personal little story that I have, because I remember one time when it was like a long separation with my twin flame. It was like very beginning before TFAS, and I was like controlling and dating like a soulmate for a very short period. Just a big lesson in my life. And I remember actually being at his house watching this movie with him, thinking of my twin flame. And then the guy was staring at me because I was so in love, visualizing my life with my twin flame. Meanwhile, some dude is like on the couch, like, you know, the placeholder, and he's like biting his nails because he could tell that like I'm thinking of love, and it just triggered him because it's not with him. He did not feel it at all. And I was just like, la, la, la. Of course, you know, a month later, that relationship ended. Back to my twin flame union, found TFAT, and have committed to the journey since then. And, you know, continue to do so. So, you know, it's a good feeling to actually find your true twin flame and surrender to the lessons and stick with them and not date around and not marry anyone else until they're revealed otherwise. So just want to say that.
Amen.
I wonder what would have happened if the two in the notebook would have had access to Twin Flame Ascension School. I wonder if their journey
probably
would
would
have
never
been
have had
saved our
separation
7
stages.
years.
Yeah, years of suffering they would have saved. But it's such a good movie. So.
Yeah, but they did need that contrast to get really clear, because it wasn't until the point that she was about to marry this other person that she realized like something here is missing, and I'm gonna go to this old town and figure like am I just like having like second thoughts, or am I getting cold feet, or is there something else? And it was no coincidence that she kind of like find out about him again days before her wedding. So yeah, it's kind of
Right,
like
because he built the foundation for that when he built that house. Like, he knew the desire to build that house was there, and that was going to actually bring her. Like, that energy, the love that he had, he focused it on that foundation. And of course, that's the exact same thing that attracted her back to his life when she saw that on the newspaper. So once again, focus on your foundation, commit to yourself, love yourself, and you attract them in your life no matter what is going on the outside. Like, so beautiful. Yeah.
Do we have any more snippets, or that was the last one? Aha. Do we have any comments? Maybe? No?
No comments. It's been a quiet one, but if you're watching this later on YouTube, you know, feel free to comment, and someone from the Twin Flames Universe team will absolutely respond. But yeah, this is always a good topic. A runner-up for Twin Flame movie that is not on that list, in my opinion, is Groundhog Day with Bill Murray.
Oh, that's true. We watched it recently.
Yeah.
One of her favorites.
Yeah, I like that one, where, you know, he basically like goes on a whole journey of ascension. Basically, like, he's stuck in his life until he like chooses love, you know. And he has to like choose love genuinely, not to get something. So I like that movie a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I've forgotten about that one.
I love it. I know
It's not-
since a child. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's not directly twin flamey, but it has a lot of themes. So I like it.
Nice. So, any other movies? Are we feeling complete otherwise? Great. Yeah, I feel like we can discuss like twin flame movies pretty much kind of like in a pajama party all night. But yeah, we will invite you, of course, everyone watching from YouTube and also in the open forum, if you're catching up later on with the live, to just share your favorite movies and why do you think these are Twin Flame movies, or asking your questions about them, and we will be glad to answer them. So everyone, thank you for joining us today, and we will see you in the next live.